Hello everyone, myself Jalaj Nagpal and I welcome you all to EduTap. So in this session, my friends, we are going to discuss regarding one of the most scoring sections of your SEBI Grade A exam, which is finance. In this section, my friends, I am going to discuss all of your doubts. So we will be discussing A to Z of all your doubts, and mind you, my friends, after this session, you will be having zero doubts. We will be discussing variety of things, and we will be also seeing that what is an app timetable to crack SEBI Grade A regarding finance components. So let's start this video now. See, first, I have a very wonderful gift for you. We have launched a very special brochure and an ebook for all of you. In this particular ebook, my friends, you are going to get all your doubts answered. Basically, what we have done is that students generally waste a lot of time in Google, and they used to search a lot of things on random Telegram groups, like what is the overall job hierarchy in SEBI, what is the salary structure in SEBI, how many people are recruited in SEBI every year, and n numbers of things. You will also see people asking what are the different topics which they have to study in SEBI Grade A. So what we have done is that we have combined all these different doubts and we have released a one-stop solution for you. So all you need to do is just go in the description box below and you will be finding this ebook over there. You will find an e-link over there. Just download this ebook from there and it's practically of rupees 0. And in this ebook, my friends, you will be finding each and everything. And what is my favorite parts, my friend? The salary structure. You can see on page number 21, the salary structure is there. And mind you, my friends, you will be getting a very hefty salary in SEBI. So the link of ebook, as I said, is in the description box below. You can download it from here, there on. And now let's start this video. Okay. So talking regarding finance, my friends, we will be first let's discuss the agenda of this particular session. Why this particular YouTube session has been created. Let's discuss regarding that now. So first we will be understanding what are the different topics in SEBI. Then we will be understanding what are the sources and so on and so forth. This is the overall agenda and we will be going stepwise. Okay. But before moving ahead, my friends, I have a disclaimer for you. Now, what is that disclaimer? Disclaimer is a type of a caution which is there to help you. So this particular disclaimer is regarding a new pattern. See, SEBI Grade A as well as all the different exams which has the same syllabus of SEBI like PFRDA and NPS, they are changing their, I should say, technique of asking questions. Basically, they are adding something new masala into each and every question, and I think that is a cause of worry for all of you. So don't worry, we will be discussing that why the pattern is changing right now. So let's discuss that right now. See, earlier what used to happen is that SEBI and PFRD Grade A or different exams which has the same syllabus, they usually focus on the static component. But post 2020, they have added some financial awareness component as well. So earlier you was only studying finance static. You were mugging up all the different concepts in finance, but now they have added some financial awareness, because if you are selected as a SEBI Grade A officer, then you should have a complete, or I should say moderate, control over the financial awareness component. That's why all the different exam authorities, they have added financial awareness in their component. So now you are studying finance static, plus you will also have to do certain rework, or I should say certain efforts has to be paid up to the current affairs part, or I should say the financial awareness. Now by financial awareness I means the big news which are happening in the Indian financial markets. I'm not saying you to cover all the current affairs. I'm saying you that you have to cover financial awareness over here. So this is the new pattern which you have to follow for your finance component in SEBI Grade A. And mind you, my friends, why I am saying this. See, this I am saying on the basis of all the PYQs which we have analyzed for the SEBI Grade A exam and recently conducted PFRD Grade A exam. In PFRD Grade A exam, my friends, the exam conducting authority is the same as that is of SEBI. So what they have done is they have asked multiple questions which are based on current affairs, or I should say financial awareness, not the current affair. The correct word would be financial awareness. Okay. Now, what are these questions? Let's discuss that, because best analysis of any component is by analyzing the PYQs. So now let's analyze the PYQs of different exams which has the same component, that is of SEBI. So if you see, this particular question that have been directly picked up from SEBI Grade A exam, which was conducted in the year 2022, in the starting of 2022. So this question has been there from your alternate investment funds, which is There is some static part in the chapter, I should say, in different finance chapters, but they have not asked the static component. They have asked the financial awareness part. Okay. Then you will also see in PFRD grade A exam, I was literally shocked to see that there were 3 to 4 questions based on financial awareness, and 3 to 4 questions, my friend, will fetch you 6 to 8 marks, and that is more than enough to clear the, I should say, cutoff if you are on the verge of clearing it, because people are missing their selections on 0.25 marks as well. So if you see, there are n numbers of questions. I cannot bring all the questions on this slide, but you can see there are n numbers of questions which are based on your financial awareness. Again, I am saying you will have to first finish the finance static part, and then you will have to see and you will have to filter some important financial awareness. For example, in this year they can ask a question of CBDC, which is central bank digital currency. It's one of the most historic moment, or I should say one of the most innovative moment for the Indian economy, because this is the first time a central bank is releasing their own digital currency. They will, RBI has also made changes in their own RBI Act. So it's one of the most historic movement. And you can also see question in SEBI Grade A exam as well, because advantages of CBDC will be used by different investors also. So again, the overall analysis remains the same, that you will now have to cover financial awareness as well. So this is the new pattern which you will have to follow from this particular year itself. So if your target is SEBI Grade A exam, then you will have to first cover the finance static and then move to the financial awareness. Okay. So this is the caution which I have to give you. I can also start the video by giving n numbers of topic, but as a teacher, I will tell you that what is the correct path. First, you have to make a change in your mindset, that now, from now on, I will have to cover financial awareness along with the finance static. Okay. Then now let's cover what are the important topics which you have to cover for your SEBI Grade A finance component. Okay. So this is you right now. This is you. Practically, you are confused at what you have to study and what not to study. So what I have done is that I have brought you a particular list of chapters which you have to do. For example, chapter number 1 talks regarding time value of money. Comparatively very easy. Don't go deep in time value of money. Just cover the concepts. Just cover what is annuity, what is different types of annuity. Don't go deep and don't go in solving each and every numerical. Numerical part is hardly taken by commerce and account. In finance, you will directly get questions from financial awareness or your static part. Okay. Then you can start with bonds. Again, don't go deep in bonds. Just cover what are different types of bond, what is the different properties of bond, and how bond differ from equity. Then in chapter 3, you can start with your basics of derivative. This is one of the most important chapter, because SEBI is the regulator of your Indian financial markets, or I should say Indian stock markets. And on stock markets, you have forward, futures, and swaps. So this is one of the most important chapters, I will say, that you should read. And this is star, okay, not cross. So chapter 3 is one of the most important, because in this chapter you will be, again I have said that you will be dealing with basic components of future, forwards, and swaps. Understand the overall features of futures, how futures differ from forwards, what are swaps, what are different types of swaps, how the pricing of futures and forwards are done, so on and so forth. So this is very knowledgeable chapter, I would say. Then you can start with chapter number 4, options, which is an extended version of chapter 3. So if you see, there are 4 types of main derivatives, which is future, forward, swaps, and options. But option has been kept separately because option is bit technical in nature. Okay. But here too, this chapter is also very important. So chapter 3 and 4 are like must do. You have to do chapter 3 and 4 by soul, or I should say by heart. Then let's come to another very important chapter, which is chapter 5 and chapter 6. Chapter 5 deals regarding primary and secondary market of equity markets, and chapter 6 deals with the debt market. Equity and debt market are another very important 2 chapters. You will have to cover these 2 chapters again very deeply. And these 2 chapters, my friend, are like basic of the Indian financial system. So for example, in chapter 5, you will read regarding what is block deal, what is bulk deal, what is the difference between a block deal and a bulk deal. Then you will also understand what is an equity share, basic say. You will also understand that what is a different type of prospectus, how prospectus is issued. So there is much to understand in chapter 5, but it's one of the most beautiful chapters when it comes to the knowledge. Chapter 6, again, my friends, it's based on the debt market. Debt market is again a very important component of your syllabus. In this chapter, you will be dealing regarding different components of money market. That is your certificate of deposit, treasury bills, and in past year questions, if you see of SEBI and PFRDA and NPS, you will see chapter 3 to chapter 6, that is 3, 4, 5, and 6 are having a huge number of PYQs, that is previous year question. So you should do chapter 3, 4, and 5 and 6 by heart. Go deep, do Google, and do as much as possible efforts in chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then some less important chapter, which is chapter 7, 8, and 9, which is equity valuation, mutual funds, and financial inclusion. In equity valuation, you can just understand what is EPS, that is earning per share, and you can also understand what is the side related aspects of EPS, like if EPS is more than 1 or less than 1, so on and so forth. Same goes with another very important topic, which is PE ratio, that is price earning ratio. Again, a very important topic. Don't go into technical analysis of equity valuation as per my advice. You can just have a surface reading in equity valuation. Same goes with mutual funds. Mutual funds, when you can just have a basic understanding what is the overall structure, how many types of mutual fund schemes are operating in India, what is your NAV, then how you are in using your SIP, that is systematic investment plan. What is the sister strategy for systematic investment plan? It's systematic withdrawal plan. Many people don't know regarding SWP. Okay, so all things can be dealt in chapter 8, but yes, you need to have a basic understanding. A surface reading is what I will suggest you in chapter 8. Same goes with chapter 9, financial inclusion. See, financial inclusion is very important concept if you are studying for RBI Grade B exam. But when it comes to SEBI Grade A exam, SEBI has a very less exposure to financial inclusion, I would say. But it's one of the most important chapter again. But what you have to do is just understand what is the overall concepts, and then you can relate to some initiatives of social stock exchange. SEBI has released some guidelines regarding social stock exchange. So that is how you will just have to do surface reading in these 3 chapters and focus on the related current affairs as well. Okay. Then again, chapter 10, chapter 11, and chapter 12, the same strategy of your surface reading will apply over here as well. Okay. And you will see that if your basic is covered, like if you know what is Indian financial market and then try to correlate it with forex market, your time investment in forex market will reduce because your basics are covered in the chapter 3 to 6. Okay. So all in all, chapter 7 to chapter 12, that is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a surface reading is what I recommend you. But at the same time, if there is any unique concept, for example, let's pick any chapter, which is chapter 11. If there is any unique concept, for example, if I talk regarding public-private partnerships, right? So herein you will understand different types of PPP modes. So you just have to understand what is the basic meaning of that particular mode. For example, if I talk regarding HAM model, which is hybrid annuity model of PPP. In that model, just understand what is the overall concept and you are good to go. Don't go deep over there. You need to go deep in chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6. But in all these different chapters, I will suggest you to have a surface reading. Okay, I hope my message is very much clear to you. Now let's move to next list of chapters, which is chapter 13, 14, 15, and 16 and 17. Okay, or 18 as well. In chapter 13, my friends, inflation is one of the most important chapters. Again, you will have to allocate one full day to inflation because inflation is like very wide. You will have to understand what is CPI, then understand what is WPI, then what is the difference between WPI and CPI, what is IIP, and so on and so forth, why there is an inflation in the Indian economy, why money supply will increase. So there is a lot to discuss in inflation. Okay, so inflation is again a very important chapter. Okay, and you can also expect some questions from inflation in economics. So if you are covering inflation right now in finance, then your burden in economics will fall down. Okay. Then chapter 14, RBI functions. This chapter is also very important, I would say, because RBI is the regulator of Indian financial markets. RBI is a regulator of Indian banking system as well. So I will say you can have a good understanding of RBI in this chapter. But again, cover the basics first. Okay. Then talking regarding chapter 15, which is changing landscape. See, changing landscape is bit current affairs oriented chapter. So if you are good on current affairs, then your chapter 15 is like done. It's like moderately done. Now here on you can just understand what is payment bank, what is small finance bank, which will be a part of your Indian financial markets only. Okay. Then chapter 16, this chapter is like must do because every year there has been a question that which body regulates this sector, which body regulates NBFCs, which body regulates bond market, so on and so forth. So you will have to first do financial institution, but under financial institutions, specifically focus on SEBI. Okay, so you will have to first understand what SEBI is all about, functions of SEBI, when was SEBI established, when was SEBI's act was passed. Many people don't understand the year in which SEBI was established. They still say SEBI was established in the year 1992, which is completely wrong. SEBI was established in the year 1988. In the 1992 year, the constitutional powers was given to SEBI. Okay, or I should say the act was passed rather. So chapter 16 is important. Again, I have told you, cover the basics of each and every function. Like if you are opening chapter 16, you will see you will need to cover the basic functions of NABARD. You will need to cover the basic functions of SIDBI. Nowadays, NAFBID is also out. That is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. So there can be a question on NAFBID as well because it's a part of financial institutions now. Then chapter 17 again a must do. This is the backbone of whole finance syllabus. Herein you will be discussing regarding Basel norms, different types of risks which are there. So chapter 17 is also a must do. Then chapter 18. This chapter mein again you can have a surface reading. In chapter 18 you can have surface reading again because FRMBM and Finance Commission are not that important components when it comes to the SEBI Grade A. But if you analyze the PYQs in SEBI Grade A Phase 1, there was questions from FRMBM and Finance Commission. Even in PFRD Grade A, my friends, there was a question. But that particular question can be solved if you are having a surface reading. If you are going completely blank in this chapter, then you cannot solve them. If you have your basics clear, then you can solve all the questions in this particular chapter as well. So, what should be an overall approach? Cover chapter 3, 4, 5 and 6. And those chapter अच्छे से you will have to go in these all those top chapters deep, and then you can come to all the different small chapters and then start with these really very important chapters as well. So this is how we are covering finance, and this particular whole syllabus can be completed in minimum 15 days. You will need 15 days and maximum can be 20 days, assuming that you are new to finance. But if you have covered finance in RBI or any other exam, then you can complete the syllabus in minimum 15 days only. Okay. So now let's understand what will be our timetable. See, I am assuming that for next 15 days you will study 4 hours. I am assuming that 4 hours a day. I am assuming that you are a working professional. But if you are a full-time preparing student and if you are just graduated and if you have just started with SEBI preparation, then I would say you can increase the number of hours over here and you can make it minimum 8, or because those students who are preparing full, like they can allocate 8 to 10 hours. But those who are working professionals, sorry, they will need to allocate 4 hours a day for next 15 days, and your finance static component is then all you need to do is just read newspaper on daily basis, just see certain very important financial awareness components which are associated to your syllabus. Okay, so let's start with the first important list of chapters, which is your time value of money, bonds, derivatives, basics of derivatives, and then you move to the advanced options. So what you have to do is on the first day, on the day 1, cover your TVM, that is time value of money and bonds. This is very basic in nature. I am not assuming that you will allocate more than day 1. 2 hours of TVM and 2 hours of bonds is more than enough. Very basic to understand, nothing science and nothing like rocket science rather. Basic English, you just need to understand. Then on day 2, start with derivatives. As I have told you, allocate complete day to derivatives. Understand future forwards and swaps from a very basic understanding only. Then day 3, start with derivative and options. Again, if you see, whole options have been converted into 2 types. There is call option, there is put option. This is only options. Then you go into deep into different parameters. Okay. So if you have a complete dedicated hours of 4 hours, then you can complete derivatives basics in day 2 and complete derivatives options in day 3. So this is what I have assumed that you will study for 4 hours dedicatedly. Moving ahead, then chapter 5 and 6. Allocate 1 complete day. For chapter 5, same goes with chapter 6. These, as I have told you, chapter 3, 4, 5 and 6 are very, very important. There will be a question in your exam for 100% if you take my words. I am saying 100% because this is the basics of finance. And you will be tested on this either on chapter 3, 4 and 5 and 6. You will definitely see a question. Okay. So day 4 pe I have finished over day 3 over here. On day 4 you will have to move towards equity market, and day 5 पे move towards debt market. Now debt markets में I will advise you to make certain handy notes. You can make notes in each and every chapter, but specifically in debt market there are different conditions which are associated to certain instruments. For example, treasury bill are being issued for rupees 10,000 in minimum and so on and so forth. Commercial papers are issued for 5 lakh and multiples thereon. So you will have to make certain notes unless and until you are like very short on time, then you can avoid it. But if you have time, make notes, okay? Because in chapters 6, which is debt market, you will face certain problems. But that problem can be solved if you make notes and keep on revising them on daily basis, okay? Now let's move to another next important days. Chapter 7, 8 and 9, which is equity valuation, mutual funds and financial inclusion. Comparatively easy chapters, it is doable in 2 days only. What I will suggest you is that on day 6, finish your equity valuation and mutual funds. In equity valuation, I have told you, don't go deep into technical analysis. Just focus on what is EPS, what is PE, and just understand PE, that is price to earning, and EPS is earning per share ratio. Focus on these two. Don't go into technical analysis. Don't go into Dow Jones technical analysis, so on and so forth. Cover the basics of this component, and this chapter is done in hardly in 1 hour only. If you are new to finance, then it will take 1 hour. If you are having some background, then this will take hardly 30 minutes only. Save the time. Move to mutual funds. Mutual funds is also a very easy chapter. Understand the whole concept of mutual funds, and then understand different types of schemes. And I have told you different types of investment strategies like SIP, SWP, STP is also there. If you know what STP is there, then do comment in the comment section. Okay. Then moving ahead to next chapter, which is chapter 10, 11 and 12. I have already told you, do surface reading over here. Okay, do not invest much time in chapter 7 to 12. You can just have a complete surface reading, understand the basic and move ahead. But basics we have to do by heart. Basic you have to do in each and every chapter. Okay. So moving ahead, on day 8, or I think I missed day 7. On day 7, you need to cover financial inclusion. Financial inclusion, but don't go deep into different initiatives. All you need to do is just cover the basics and then focus on financial inclusion from a SEBI point of view. Like I have told you, like what SEBI is doing is that they are introducing social stock exchange. Now I don't expect SEBI to ask question from core financial inclusion initiatives like what is RRB, what is the shareholding pattern in RRB. I don't think SEBI will ask that. So what you need to do is study carefully in chapter in financial inclusion as well. Then move to day 8. Day 8 we will cover alternative sources of finance, and on day 9 we will cover PPP and forex market. Again, it's much doable in 2 days, because specifically speaking for alternative sources of finance, it's a bit theoretical chapter. All you need to do is just understand the concept and move ahead. There is no numericals in chapter in alternative sources of finance. Same goes with PPP and forex. Forex, I have told you, if you are covering your chapter 3, 4, 5 and 6 in a very deep manner, then forex is also done. In PPP, there are certain models which you will have to mug up. Yes, if you are not able to understand the concept, then you have to mug up. That is the last source of option which we have. So now let's move to another very important chapters: inflation, RBI function and changing landscape. I have allocated day 10, day 11 and day 12. Give one full day to inflation. Give one full day to RBI function, and the same goes with changing landscape of Indian banking system, because in changing landscape you will see that how payment banks, how small finance banks and different banks are coming up. Okay. RBI functions, I have told you, in RBI functions focus mainly on what is the overall structure of RBI, how each and every function helps the Indian economy from RBI. Okay. Inflation, I have told you that it's one of the most important chapter. There can be a question. So same goes with your day 10, 11 and 12. Now let's move to day 13, 14 and 15. So this is the last leg of your overall finance syllabus. Start with chapter 16, which is financial institutions. Cover each and every financial institution in basic, but for SEBI, go in detail. Okay. Then your risk management. This is one of the most important chapters which you have to cover. And then at the last, you can cover your FRMBM Act and your Finance Commission. So day 13 pe focus on financial institutions. Financial institution is one of the most important chapters. Each and every year they are asking a question that which party or which organization regulates this market. Very easy, hardly a 10-second question if your basics are clear. Day 14 pe move towards risk management, and day 15 pe move towards FRMBM. Okay, so this is an app timetable for you. Now, many people will say that, sir, we don't have a luxury of studying 4 hours only. So what I have done for you, have a 5 day of buffer. So if you are having a buffer of 5 days, your finance static part is at least completed in 20 days only. Okay, so do follow this strategy and you will be definitely having a good result. Now, my friends, this is my golden words. In the same video of commerce and accounts, I have told you that phase 1 is all about your building your concepts. Allocate as much time in building your concepts, cover the basics, but the same syllabus goes in your phase 2 as well. So at that time, you will need to test your concepts. Test your concepts, I mean that you will need to solve multiple questions. You will need to solve multiple MCQs. Go on any course, take that MCQ course, keep solving MCQs. Because the most advantageous thing of SEBI is that the syllabus remains the same. Only the difficulty level rises when it comes to the phase 1 and phase 2. Unlike like RBI. In RBI, phase 1 is a different ball game. Phase 2 is again a different ball game. But in SEBI, PFRD and NPS, you have that luxury that syllabus remains the same. And when syllabus remains the same, complete your syllabus till phase 1. So for example, if SEBI exam is scheduled in somewhere in I'm assuming anything, like if they have scheduled exam in February, to complete your syllabus in February and you will get almost 20 to 25 days minimum. Okay, they can also give you 30 days, but 20 to 25 days will be your minimum, and in those 20 to 25 solve as many MCQs. Like you can solve minimum 1000 MCQs because that will help you, and side by side you can also prepare for English descriptive, which is like a component which you can deal rather after your phase 1. So this is my golden word for you. Right now the time is for building your concepts. Focus on your concepts, focus on your basic, and after your phase 1 is done, then solve as many numericals as possible. Okay. Now, what are the sources which you need to follow for your different I should say topics? You can follow Prasanna Chandra book, one of the most famous book, that is your financial management. But again, study what I have given you topic wise list. Don't go deep in those chapters which I have recommended a surface reading. Okay. Then the sister book of this particular book is Bharti Pathak, Indian Financial System. Again, a very hefty, very heavy, very bulky book. But again, stick to the syllabus and you are good to go. Then there are some other sources. Yes, mind you, I am saying here or. Do not study this and this. I am saying study this or this. Okay. Ye hai, to avoid this. And if you have this, then avoid this. Okay. So don't do both of these books. Okay. And if you do not have these two books, then you can study on IIBF material, that is your Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. They have certain very important books like Indian Financial System. Different books are there. So you can download that, study from the PDFs. Or if you are preparing for JAB and CAB exams, then I think you will have that particular luxury of having material. And then yes, Google is always there to help you. All you need to do is just have some time to type and understand. And then you can also use certain websites. Like for example, if I am understanding what is the major function regarding SEBI, because SEBI is part of your financial institution chapters. Okay, so go on the SEBI website, you can study that as well. But again, it's a time taking process. So it will take certain hours of yourself and it will be a time taking process. I totally understand that. But again, if you wanted to first cover the static part, you can focus on these two books. Now let's come to revision, my friends. Again, revision is the key. Revision is everything. If you are just not doing revision, then you are hitting your head with the stone. Okay, simple. So for revision, question bank. Again, I have said question bank, take multiple mock tests. That is the most important thing. If you are not giving your mock test, if you are not solving questions, then you are living on your own la la land. Come out of your la la land and go into the war of SEBI Grade A, because there only you will be understanding what are your strengths and weakness. Make handy notes, not bulky. I have told you, for example, if you are reading any book and there is a note on treasury bill of let's say 30 pages. So have a habit to make those 30 pages 1/3 in your notes. So when I am making notes, I will make sure that treasury bill component is hardly done in 10 pages in my notes. In original books, there are 30 pages, but I will convert that 30 pages into 10 pages and I will filter it out, that what is important, what is not. So that can be done only when you are having a control command, big command on your concepts and PYQs. Revise the basics multiple times. This is my favorite theorem, which I generally say, if your basics are strong, then you can go and fight any war. Do revise all the different concepts which we have discussed, and this will surely help you. And if you revise more and more, then definitely it will help you to remember in your MCQ stages as well, and it will help you in your phase 2 as well. Okay, so this is the end of this video. I hope I have covered multiple things over the short period of time, and do subscribe to our YouTube and Telegram channel. And till then, meet you in the next video. Until then, be safe and keep studying.